What up guys, I'm Thales and we're back with another how to slice. In today's how to slice video, we're going to be checking out some awesome Christmas countdown. So let's go to the video. So this is the step-by-step Santa Claus countdown. As you can see, it could be called count up because the Santa Claus is going to be going up, but it is a countdown until Christmas. So this is a really nice model because you can be printing the stairs, the upper part of the stairs, so you can just attach here, and the Santa Claus is going to go each day one step closer to Christmas to get closer to the star. So this is a really nice model to print, and in this video we're going to be checking out the best print settings to print it. So let's go. So before we go to the stair itself, we're going to be taking a look at these tiny parts right here. What we're going to be doing is printing them first, just so I can show you, because this part is really critical. We're going to be adding brim and we're going to be reducing the speed to print it, because as you can see, this is a really small part. I joined all of these in the same build plate because we're going to be using different configurations to print compared to this one. So let's go to the print settings. Going over here to layer height, we're going to be printing this part at 0.14 millimeters or 0.16 millimeters. This way, we're going to get a good quality print, especially on this small Santa Claus, because as this is a really tiny part, we need to reduce the layer height so we can get a good quality print. And to help print these parts that are really pretty and need a good quality result. Going back, we're going to be printing with 3 perimeter shells. This is quite nice, 3 vertical shells. Going over to 10% gyroid. We're going to be adding brim, but we're going to be adding brim especially to this one. We do not need to add brim to all of them, but let's do that just to avoid some these prints unsticking from the build plate. While talking about brim is a really nice feature, so we're going to be adding a 4mm brim just to increase the surface area of contact to the build plate right here. So as you can see, this part doesn't have a good area as the Santa Claus, because the Santa Claus is quite tall compared to the surface area of contact, the build plate. We wouldn't need any brim to this part right here, but we're going to be adding just for safety precautions and to this connector to attach both of the stars. What I'll be doing is actually we're going to be adding brim, but if you have some bad adhesion issues, I do recommend always cleaning your build plate with some isopropylic alcohol or detergent, because dust and oils from your finger will impact the bed adhesion. Because this way, if your build plate is not clean, you're not going to have a good first layer. It's going to unstick really fine, really easily, and you're not going to have a good quality print. And I would recommend having your print really well leveled, so you can have a good first layer, because the first layer is the most important layer, because all of the other layers are going to go on top of this one. So if the first layer is not good, you're not going to have a really nice and solid print. So we have added brim to this build plate right here. All of these models will benefit a lot. And going over here to the print settings on support material right here, we're not going to be adding support material because these models are optimized for printing and they do not need any support. Going over to speed, I will recommend reducing the speed. On BabelLab printers, I do recommend printing at half of the speed, especially because of this part right here. So this is it needs to be really slow to print it. So going over here to small perimeters, we're going to be reducing to 50 millimeters, and for BabelLab printers you can be printing at half of the speed, and make sure that your first layer speed is at around 20 millimeters a second. This way we're going to be printing a low value just to get a good end result. We're just going to be printing at this speed just for this part. The other parts we're going to be printing at standard speed. Let's just slice and take a look. So as you can see, we have sliced and it's going to take 2 hours and 11 minutes to print. We have added custom brim just to help with this part right here and the Santa Claus, and make sure that our star is going to print correctly. If you go to speed, you'll see that it reduces a lot of the speed while printing this small perimeter to around right here 50 millimeters a second. This way we're gonna get a really nice quality print, because this is the most critical part. You can even lower down the speed if you may like. So let's go to the stair itself. So let's start with the lower this stair, the lower part. So this is quite nice. Let's go to the print settings and we can just untoggle this. We do not need to reduce any of the speed. Or going over to support, we do not need any support. All of the parts right here, they are at an overhang that your printer can print. So we do not need to consider any of support. Going over to brim, we do not need any brim because this model's got a good surface area of contact to the build plate. Going over to infill, let me just see. Okay, no, don't generate support. Skirt and brim, we do not need any skirt, neither brim. For infill density, we can be printing at 10% with gyroid. So we're gonna be saving a little bit of filament in this big part, and we're going to be getting a really dense print. Right here, we can be printing this model at 0.20 millimeters, so we can get a good quality print and with a nice time of print. It's not going to take too much time to print. This way, we do not need to lower down this value because this is a really big print. It's going to be really hard to see those fine lines of print. So let's just slice, and this top part right here, we're going to be printing is exactly the same. We're just going to be adding brim. But first, let's talk about this one. Let's just slice. So as you can see, we have sliced and it's going to take 16 hours and 24 minutes to print. It looks perfect. If we go down the layers, you see that it's going to be printing at 10% infill, and we're going to have a solid print. Let's go to the last part of our model. So as for this final part right here, as you can see, it doesn't have the best surface area of contact to the build plate, especially because this is a really tall print. I would recommend adding a little bit of a brim if you have some bad adhesion issues. So we're going to be printing exactly the same as the other part, so the bottom part, but for brim, we're going to be adding a 5 millimeter brim just to increase the surface area of contact to the build plate. So let's just slice and take a look. So as you can see, it's going to take 5 hours and 25 minutes to print. We have increased right here the contact of the surface contact to the build plate. So it's going to be printing with the same configurations. Looks quite nice. Your printer can print this overhang really well. If you have some bad adhesion issues, I would recommend going even more with the brim. But this is going to be a safe route. So if you take a look, let's just take a look at the speed. It's going to not reduce too much of the speed for small perimeters, just the lower part it shows as a small perimeters. So grab a really nice filament that you have laying around and print this model because it's awesome. So the models are ready to print. Make sure you check out stlflix.com for more models like this one, and I'll see you in another one.
I hope you guys enjoy it. Those slicing videos are an initiative from STL Academy, which is the educational project from STL Flix. So if you guys want to learn more about 3D printing, you could check our description and look at STL Academy courses. And don't forget, see you guys at the next slicing.